Could be Dr. Dekker. Act 3 of 734. No shit. All right, let's go. Let's go. Continue. Intensity.
David Hunt.
I can change my skin.
Then skins.
Dr. Dekker dated his patients.
I had a hot date.
We went out for drinks.
I took photos of Jessica.
Dr. Dekker did
On
phone
Valentine's Day.
and ask me for Nathan's number. There was a girl there.
Am I wrong to keep the locket?
I'm allowed to talk to her, aren't I? He was preoccupied with finding
Photographs.
patterns.
Rocking chair.
I haven't been back to the beach since
I had a bit of a shaky loop incident.
where I find something
I set fire
beautiful in the sea.
to Hannah's clothes in the garden. I dug the grave.
I wish I'd said goodbye.
Dr. Dekker cursed me.
It didn't weigh enough to have a body in it.
I love the compilation.
Oh, Doctor, you surprised me. Reminds me of Officer Yates. Did I ever mention I had a special friend in the police force?
Oh.
It's not something you drop politely into a conversation. He's been doing some digging and he's found a couple things. There's a crime scene report that goes into all the gory details and
Nice.
another report that's about a patient you're seeing today, Claire. I'll put them both on the desk for you. And thanks for the grief counselling, by the way. It's really been helping, you know, I'm so glad you're here.
She's so full of shit. Spiked. I'm like so suspectful of the secretary. She is the one that's acting the weirdest, and she's supposed to be the most sane. Okay, let's take a look at the clues. Wow, there's a lot. Crime scene report summary, 14th February 2017. Title: Doctor. First name blank. Last name Dekker. Position of victim. The victim was located in his office, seated on a chair behind the desk, soaked in blood, with an obvious chest wound. Okay. Possible murder weapons: paper spike, desk accessory. So it's like a crime of opportunity. 150 millimeters long, protruding from the approximate region of the victim's heart. Oh. Can I not scroll down or something? Coroner's initial findings. Estimated from liver temperature measurements to be between 8:30 and 10:30 p.m. Okay, 8:30 and 10:30 p.m. It's late. Okay, so that's late. Note that the victim's body was reportedly discovered at 10:20 p.m. So he could have died after the body was discovered. Would have been cool if she hugged you and then it said you died. Sorry, Blanco, you taking off? Yeah, we've got some more evidence, like some real evidence. Not just crazy people interviews. Sorry, just adjusting things here. Cause of death: exsanguination due to, I guess that's bleeding, due to punctuation of a left anterior descending coronary artery. Kind of like, it's kind of stupid that I can't go down on the report, but okay. Claire's arrest report. Can't zoom up or down or anything. Oh, okay, Vlas Blanco, thank you so much for stopping by, dude, and I'll see you later. Statement of Christian Weber, police officer 7691. To the best of my knowledge, this statement is true. Okay. 9th of November. At 20:40 hours on Tuesday, 8th of November, myself and Holt responded to a call received from a neighbor of the Bauer House, Weston Park Avenue. It's you know, like at restaurants with the like receipts or like order, you like they'll like when they're done with it, they'll like take it and they'll put it on a spike. I think that's what it is. It's just for like getting papers out of the way that you don't need anymore. It would be strange if he'd have one though. That's not really an office thing. That's like a restaurant thing. I don't think I've ever seen one in an office because you just like toss it in the trash or like recycling or something like that. If you're done with a piece of paper. Okay. Weston Park Avenue, concerning a reported disturbance. We arrived at the address and knocked on the front door, but there was no reply. We then examined the rear of the property and gained entry through insecure patio doors. We entered the property through this door, and I announced myself by shouting, "Police!" Did not hear any response. A spike made a favor. Don't think so. Could be. Could be. We searched the premises. Upon entering the dining room, I saw a female seated next to a man who was lying on the ground. So it's a stabbing, right? The man did not appear to be conscious. Both persons were drenched in blood, and there was a substantial amount of blood on the carpet, walls, and furniture. I noted what appeared to be a steak knife on the floor, which was also covered in blood. At this point, I asked the woman to put her hands on her head, which she did. PC Holt secured the female while I checked the man for signs of life, but found none. I asked the woman her name, and she identified herself to me as Claire Castleford. I asked if she knew the dead man, and she said he was her husband, David Castleford. I asked what had happened, and she said that he had killed him. Pretty blunt. Those things are in offices as well? Processing receipts? Yeah. In a psychiatrist's office, though? I don't know. That seems weird to me. Following a search by PC Holt, which revealed to no other persons present in the house, I said to Castleford, 2052 hours, you are under arrest on suspicion of murder. Yeah. I then cautioned her and placed her in the back of the police car for transportation to Weston Park Police Station, where I relayed the circumstances of the arrest, blah, 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 who authorized her something. And there was a resignation letter. Earlier on, he said he resigned. So I guess we're supposed to be interviewing Claire. Oh, we've got everyone. Because she also stabbed. She stabbed her husband. Just go, how are you?
I've been to the lake house regularly, keeping an eye on David. I saw the girl again, the one I told you about. She was playing outside.
Okay, let's ask about the girl.
I don't know, Doctor.
What did...
I don't know what you're after, but I don't know anything about that.
Let's ask about David.
That's not relevant here.
Valentine's
I'm
Day?
getting tired of all these. I've been to the lake house regularly, keeping an eye on.
Ask about David.
Think, Doctor, think.
Yeah. Wow.
I've been to the lake house regularly.
I'm already
keeping an eye on
stuck.
David. I saw the girl again, the one I told you about. She was playing outside.
Playing.
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, that's not relevant here. Sase. What do we do? Can we ask about... I guess we should ask about David. What was the date? 9th of November.
Sorry. Try asking me. That's what it says. I can see you're confused. The police say that David is dead, fatally wounded when I stabbed him. The coroner says that David is dead. Everyone says that David is dead. There was even a funeral. But I know he's alive.
So David isn't actually dead. So she sees dead people. That's her power, I guess.
You tell me. What could possibly explain that?
Stannisar doesn't like her, yeah. she's crazy. Yeah, it's like that's the thing about this game. It's like, are they crazy or do they actually have these powers? Did Dr. Dekker draw some of these powers out of them?
You tell me. What could possibly explain that?
Maybe she's got powers.
I'm afraid I don't know the answer to that.
The government's setting her up. Seeing things?
Try asking me something I might know.
Hallucination? Maybe.
I don't know.
Girl isn't real.
I don't know, Doc.
Hey, Kamari! How you doing? Welcome. We're into Act 3 now. Alive? Dead?
I don't know what you're after.
Ooh.
That's what it says. I can see you're confused. The police say that David is dead, fatally wounded when I stabbed him.
Can you see dead people?
I'm afraid I don't know the...
Ghost. Ghost.
I assure you.
There we go.
David is not a ghost. I've touched him.
What's that? Where did you touch him? In the cuttlefish? Right in the cuttlefish. Oh, where were you? Oh, you're at a wedding. Nice. Nice. Who got married? Yeah, weddings are they're fun, but they're exhausting. Did you sex him? I don't think that's the direction we're gonna go in.
You tell me. What could possibly explain that?
Ghosts, illusional?
Sorry.
I don't know. Oh, you think the nurse impersonated him? Zombie?
Yes, he did come back to life, but he's not a zombie. He looks like he always did. Just his mind is encumbered. There's no way back.
Government conspiracy. Okay.
You tell me. What could possibly explain that?
What else? Magic?
Think, Doctor, think. Use your brain. Or your notes if you have to.
Oh, snap. Yeah, that was a good one, Tracer. Your boyfriend's stepbrother. Oh, okay, cool. Impersonation. Imposter, maybe?
That's not relevant here.
Not relevant. Sassy.
I'm getting tired of all these questions. I'm getting tired of everything.
Drops the sass.
I don't know, Doctor.
Man, she's tired of our shit. Impersonator.
Try asking me.
Let's go back to the
That's
murder.
what it says. I
Oh
can
yeah,
see you're
always good for that
confused.
weddings.
The police say that David is dead, fatally wounded when I stabbed him.
Okay, let's stabbing.
David wanted to have a talk about our relationship. Not something any married person wants to hear. He said he'd been with Iris for about a year and that he loved her. He said he didn't love me anymore. Which I know is a lie. You don't just fall out of love with somebody. I reacted badly. I grabbed the nearest weapon I could find, which happened to be the steak knife, and stabbed him with it. There was so much blood. I instantly regretted it. So, I fixed him.
What? Tafelspitz mit Wurzelgemuss? What is that? This is all not English. It's food. I got that impression. Is it veal? Roast beef? Is it? Meat. I got that. All these pages are German. Tip of meat for the table. Boiled veal or beef and broth. Okay. Minced apples and horseradish. Interesting. Okay. So what did she do?
David wanted to have a talk about our relationship. Not something any married person wants to hear. He said he'd been with Iris for about a year and that he loved her. He said he didn't love me anymore. Which I know is a lie. You don't just fall out of love with somebody.
Said that, like, she fixed him.
I reacted badly. I grabbed the nearest weapon I could find, which happened to be the steak knife, and stabbed him with it. There was so much blood. I instantly regretted it. So, I
fixed him. Fixed him.
It was about a week later. I brought David back to life. Not with voodoo, not with virginal sacrifice. I just willed it to happen, and it did. Dr. Dekker told me it was possible, but only if you're not buried. He says once you're in the ground, there's no coming back. But until then, you have a chance at resurrection.
Oh, thanks, Vinny. Yeah, for those of you that just arrived, I announced that I am now a Humble Bundle partner. Just found out yesterday. So if you guys are looking to get like some cheap games, they have amazing games for awesome prices. You can help to support the stream. You can support charity at the same time. You just have to follow the link. If you get a bundle, you get to decide like how much to give to me, like what percentage, how much to give to charity, how much to give. I think you can give like Humble Bundle like a tip or something like that. I'm sure no one does that. And then if you're new to the Humble Monthly bundle, like if you've never had it before, each new person that signs up using the link, I get $10. And then if you buy something on the Humble store, I get 5%. So super excited about that. I was like blown away that they accepted me, and because I really I love Humble Bundle. Like I totally want to promote their stuff because they support the developers, they support charity, they support streamers, they have really good deals. So it's like it's win-win-win for everybody, and they're not one of those like shady organizations as far as I can tell. Visual Novel Bundle. It's also just the store. Like for example, they have Resident Evil 7 for like I think 40% off or 30% off right now. Just an example of like some of the regular like not non-bundle games that you can get. And right now the Humble Monthly bundle features Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin. Probably the people that are gonna play that already have it, so I can't recommend Dark Souls 2 more though. Like I love that game. So if you haven't gotten it yet, definitely pick it up. And then there's more games that come out. That's like the early access game, and then there's more games that will come out later in the month. And that's the way it works. Like if something comes up that I'm really like excited about, I'll let you guys know. Aside from that, I'm not too much of like a promoter thing. I was already telling people about the Humble Bundles because it's such a great deal. Like they had XCOM 2 once for like, you pay $12 and you get like all these games, including games like XCOM 2, like they had The Witness for one, all kinds of great stuff. What else did I get? Oh, Total Warhammer as well. Yeah, basically you click on the link and you can go, I think you can go anywhere in the site, and it's like, it's valid for like a certain period of time. You can also just add to any link, you can add the, this to the end. If you add that to the end of any link, it will also do it. Also, like I can create custom links. So if I want to link to a particular bundle, I can create a link. It's to add me as like a referral, but I think it's like, I think you click on the link, it takes you to the site, and then wherever you go on the site, it it keeps that refer thing. I haven't tested out too much though, so because obviously I don't know what happens if I buy something under the referral, if I like save money or something. I'll try it out sometime, and I'll try it out with someone else's just to see what it's like. I think maybe it like keeps a record that you went there through my like affiliate link. It should, it probably might say something somewhere when you do the checkout. Yeah, that's what I love about it. It's like, yeah, fine. It's, people could say sellout, but like I'm more than willing to support games that I really like, to like promote games that I really like, and promote sites that I think are doing a good job, you know, like Humble Bundle. It doesn't get much better than that, like, to be honest with you. So that's why I was so excited about that. You did the XCOM 2 thing? Yeah, I did XCOM 2 and I did the Total Warhammer one. They had a streaming bundle at one point. Yeah, they had like the face rig thing, and some other stuff for tools for streamers. I think XSplit too, maybe. Okay, getting back to it. So she's able to resurrect people.
Think, Doctor, think. Use your brain. Or your notes if you have to.
Okay. With Humble, if they have like 2-3 games in it, you like, it's a great deal for sure. Like, it's like you pay like, you know, $10 and you get like 100 games. It's like, not 100 games. You get like 10 games that are all worth more than that. Each individual usually. So I think right now it's some visual novel bundle that they're running, which I don't recognize any of the games, so I can't really recommend any of them. But I'll let you know when they have a good one with games that I've played. Okay. Or if they have like a really good deal on the store as well with like an individual game.
It was about a week later.
Why a week?
I brought David back to life.
Back to life.
Sorry.
How do I follow up on this?
It was about a week later. I brought David back to life. Not with voodoo, not with virginal sacrifice. I just willed it to happen, and it did. Dr. Dekker told me it was possible, but only if you're not buried. He says once you're in the ground, there's no coming back. But until then, you have a chance at resurrection.
Let's try buried. He was buried, right? Because we found out that, was it Nathan, I think, buried him? I always get like 13 games you didn't know you wanted, and then 2 months later you look at your Steam and you're like, yeah, exactly. And it's, like, usually they're pretty good, like some of the smaller games too. Buried? I'm gonna try buried first.
I don't know anything.
Willed it. Yeah, we could try Doctor Dekker.
I don't know what you're after. That's not relevant.
It's not relevant. That Dr. Dekker's not relevant to the conversation. Maybe I have to ask her more about the case file. And then, yeah, you can give games away as well that you already have. Resurrect. Try that.
I'm getting tired of all these.
No. God. You know what? I'm stuck a bit. The rest report. Okay.
It makes for interesting reading, doesn't it? I can tell you're dying to ask me about it. Fire away.
Okay. I feel like we already did ask her about it a bit. He wasn't in the casket, though. That's right. But he was cremated, wasn't he? I guess if he cheats again, she can always threaten to ground him. I think he's not all there, from what I understand. Yeah, no, I think I remember him not being in the casket, Tracer. I think you're right about that. Okay, let's go back to the arrest report. What can we ask her about? I guess like all this stuff that's underlined. With the neighbor.
My neighbors seem far more interested in my business than they are their own. The lake house only has one house opposite, and it was on sale for some time. I suppose I should have bought it.
Okay, what else? The blood.
It's a messy business, stabbing someone. You'd imagine that it would be like slicing into a pie with all the filling just slowly oozing out, but it's so much more dramatic, like popping a cork of a bottle of champagne. Blood sprayed everywhere.
That's an interesting comparison. Something you celebrate with against someone getting stabbed. You can't remember cremation? I remember Nathan or whatever, or Bryce, whichever one was it that buried? I think it was Bryce. Buried him. Mentioned something about cremation. Like he preferred cremation. Be hard to bring someone back to life if they're cremated. Can we follow up on that? No. I think steak knife was one of the things.
The steak knife was the closest, sharpest weapon I could lay my hands on.
See, this is why I suspect
Didn't
her
really
a bit.
have much time to think about it.
Kind of the same situation with Dr. Dekker, right? Just like a weapon of opportunity. Is it possible that she had a thing for Dr. Dekker and Dr. Dekker was dating other people? She found out about it and confronted him? The thing is that she loves David, though, so much that she's hallucinating, brought him back from the dead to be with him. Would she get jealous over Dr. Dekker? Hannah may have been cremated, okay. Said not a lot of people were getting cremated these days, okay. The crime is really similar, though, isn't it? Dead man. Husband, murder. Try husband.
I'm afraid I don't know the answer to that.
I already asked about murder, right? Okay. She's rich, so she was able to like get out of it somehow. If I remember correctly. Or ruled insane. Yeah, she found some loophole. Too obvious a choice. She's bitchy. People like her to be the murderer or not. Well, it's randomized, so I think there's like 5 different outcomes. So it's possible that they did make one like more obvious. Maybe we just happened to get that one. I agree, though. This seems to be the pieces are falling together too neatly. Maybe pay people off, something like that.
That's what it says. I can see you're confused. The police say that David is dead, fatally wounded when I stabbed him. The coroner says that David is dead.
Maybe just police.
I'm being charged with murder because the police don't know he's still alive, and I can't get David to vouch for me for obvious reasons. I think it would raise quite a few more questions than answers, which is why I'm hoping that you'd be able to help me.
So they're charging her, I guess. They're charging her. How can I help you? Halap. You help me by learning how to type.
Considering the circumstances, I'd be grateful if you could see your way to declaring me temporarily insane at the time of the murder. To lessen my sentence. Because I'm not a killer. But I can't prove otherwise. You don't still think I'm a killer, do you, Doctor?
Oh, how do we answer? Oh my god. How do we answer? Yes, she's a killer. Right? I mean, if we wanted to be honest, but like, what do we want to do? How do we want to like, because this is a choice. This seems like a choice position where we can like push her in one direction or the other. You want to say agree? We want to disagree with her and say that she's a murderer? Not sure yet. Full of shit, like she's pretending she's crazy to get away with it? Is that what you're saying, Seek? You think she's making all this up to get away with it? Should we find out more before we answer that, I guess? Go back to the murder.
That's what it says.
Let's find out some more.
I can see you're confused. The police say that David is dead, fatally wounded when I stabbed him. The coroner says that David is dead.
Let's maybe ask about the coroner.
I don't know, Doctor.
Fatally wounded. Already asked about that.
That's what it says. I can see you're confused.
Okay, so like we found this. How can I help you through the murder? Through the murder. So maybe this is a double star because this is a double star, and it's just like really important. It's under that. That's why we need to answer this before we can solve this one. Did a nurse touch you? I don't think they cross over so much like that. Any, but
I'm getting tired of all these.
No. You got your money on faking it? Okay, let's keep asking her about some stuff.
It was about a week later.
A week.
Try asking me something.
No.
It was about a week later.
It could be like they're all double
brought
stars
David
because like
back
it
to
all
life.
comes back to this one question.
Not with voodoo. Yes, resurrection. But now that I've seen the results, I don't think there's anything holy about it. I think reanimation is more an accurate term. Like, I'm an evil necromancer raising things from the dead. David was dazed and confused when I brought him back to life, as you'd expect. He was scared. He didn't want me to go near him at first, which is understandable, as I did kill him. But I didn't really succeed in bringing him back. He wasn't a big talker before, but even monosyllabic words were more than what he seemed able to give me.
He is at the lake house. So they live on this lake house, and she told us before that they just like they spend all their time there, and he's like, I think he was like on a he likes to look out at the lake or something like that.
David was dazed and confused when I brought him back to life, as you'd expect.
I mean, of course, you'd expect that.
He didn't want me to go near him at first.
Scared.
That's not relevant here.
Sounds like a zombie.
Dazed and confused when I brought
Seriously,
him back to
Miro.
life, as you'd expect. He was scared. He didn't want me to go near him at first, which is understandable, as I did kill him.
She admitted to it.
But I didn't really succeed in bringing him back. He wasn't a big talker before, but even monosyllabic words were more than what he seemed able to give me.
What does David do now?
I'm afraid I don't know the answer to that.
Doesn't know. Yeah, clearly zombie things. I don't know how to follow up on that.
The steak knife was the closest, sharpest weapon I could lay my hands on. I didn't really have much time to think about it.
Type.
Think, Doctor.
I want to ask her about... I wonder if we can ask her about the letter. Sorry, the... what's it called again? The spike. Paper spike.
A paper spike is an odd thing to use as a weapon. I suppose if it went directly into the heart, it might work. Or through his eye, or perhaps through the ear into his brain. Or was it just a frenzied, bloody mess of a murder? Do you know, Doctor?
Ha! It was a mess.
I don't know what you're after.
How do we answer
A
that?
paper spike is an odd thing to use as a weapon. I suppose if it went directly into the heart, it might work. Or through his eye, or perhaps through the ear into his brain. Or was it just a frenzied, bloody mess of a murder?
I guess I say heart, right?
He was stabbed in the heart. Then I'd say whoever killed him didn't want to leave any room for error.
What do you think about that, guys? She reacted to how Dr. Dekker was murdered. Did she seem guilty? You think that we're zombie Dr. Dekker? I don't know, maybe. We're only able to ask like simple things. So it's possible, I guess. Well, there's nothing to follow up on for that one. I think I can answer.
Was dazed and confused.
Well, I'm just gonna type in hint. I want to see what they say. She asked me if she thinks she's a killer, yes or no. Oh. I want to keep asking her questions before I answer that.
You tell me. What could possibly explain that? I've been to the lake house regularly, keeping an eye on David.
I want to know more about the girl.
I saw the girl again. The one I told you about. She was playing outside.
I want to know more about the girl. She did admit to killing him.
I didn't speak to her this time.
Oh, there we go.
Something about her made me feel uneasy. I just watched her from the bedroom window. She'd caught a fish. She was holding it in her hands.
Cuttlefish! Oh, there's more fish.
I wasn't close enough to see, but for all intents and purposes, it looked as if the fish bit her. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I caught a fish alive.
Repeat! Did the girl touch you? God, Vinny!
I didn't speak to her this
One
time.
track mind.
Something about her made me feel uneasy.
Okay, what? Uneasy.
Sorry.
What about her made you feel uneasy?
I don't know anything about that.
Did she bleed?
I don't know what you're after.
What else?
I didn't speak to her this time. Something about her made me feel uneasy. I just watched her from the bedroom window. She'd caught a fish. She was holding it in her hands. I'm afraid I don't know the answer.
How did she catch the fish? Maybe? No. Bedroom?
Oh, I found the key. It must have been there all along, in a drawer in the hallway. I could have sworn I'd looked there already.
I guess she mentioned before that she couldn't get into the bedroom. Good call, Tracer. I totally it's so funny. Sometimes you'll type something in and it takes you in a totally different direction that you didn't expect.
Oh, I found the key. It must have been there all along, in a drawer in the hallway. I could have sworn I'd looked there already.
Okay, let's ask her about the key. No? Or...
You don't have to analyze everything I say, Doctor. Sometimes a hallway is just a hallway. And yes, before you ask, the same goes for the drawer.
I like the meta commentary, because I guarantee you people are doing the same thing as me, where they're just typing in every word that's in every sentence. Should we answer her now? I don't know. I'm like, I so don't want to make the commitment.
You tell me.
Need to ask everything. I know. We all need to do that.
The steak knife was the closest, sharpest weapon I could lay my hands on. I didn't really have much time to think about it.
Did you think about killing David?
I don't know, Doctor.
Think.
I'm getting tired of all...
I'm
sorry.
DeLupo Solitaire, what's up? Welcome. This is how Tracer talks to humans in real life. Yeah, actually, you're not that far off from the truth. Didn't think.
I don't know anything.
I think it all comes back to just this last one. Oh, how could there be a funeral if David isn't dead? Ah.
He's buried at Henley Church.
Ah.
You can go see for yourself. There's even a headstone. One of your other patients was a pallbearer. I never forget her face. You should ask him.
Oh shit. David.
No. You have an interesting aura, Doctor.
Yeah. Did you bury David?
I don't know what you'll get.
It was this guy, right? What do I ask him?
I'm actually a classically trained pallbearer. There are a lot of health and safety considerations. Not everybody can do it. Well, properly at least. Occasionally I step in if the funeral director is short-shouldered. I do remember her face. She wasn't upset in the usual way. She seemed agitated. Her husband must have been a giant. The coffin was so heavy.
Oh.
I remember because aft port side sprained his ankle. That and he wasn't lifting correctly.
Okay. Do you want to let's follow up on this. I'm curious. Wow. Heavy?
No. Sorry.
Casket?
In simple terms, I've got nothing to say.
Agitated?
I've nothing.
Oh, man.
I'm actually a classically trained pallbearer. There are a lot of health and safety considerations. Not everybody can do it. Well, properly at least. Occasionally I step in if the funeral director is short-shouldered. I do remember her face. She wasn't upset in the usual way. She seemed...
Face.
Don't know.
Upset.
That means nothing to me.
Oh! Do I just ask him about Claire?
I don't know.
Claire. Upset?
Is that supposed to mean...
Health and safety, you want like all the procedures? I didn't know there was like
nothing to me.
such a thing as like a
Yes,
classically trained
Leanna.
pallbearer. Is it pallbearer?
No. I'm actually a classically trained...
P-A-L-L. No.
I'm actually a classically trained pallbearer. There are a lot of health and safety considerations.
Hey, ask him about the body.
I don't know.
David's body.
I have absolutely no idea what you're talking...
Go.
In simple terms,
Wait.
I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, Doctor. I saw Claire Castleford's husband in the coffin myself before carrying him to the grave.
That was a thing.
He is in the ground. I'm sure it wouldn't take much for the police to get an order to have him exhumed. Just make sure it's done on Tuesday morning when I'm off.
Okay.
Is that supposed to mean...
So what's the note? We got a note. I should tell Claire Bryce says her husband is in the ground. Oh, this is cool. I like how they're doing crossovers. Bryce says David is in the ground.
You sound confused. What exactly do you want to ask me?
Bryce said he buried David.
Smuggling a body out of a funeral can be difficult. Unless you pay the right people.
Oh, come on. I should tell Bryce that Claire says he's been smuggling bodies. Ooh. Smuggling, maybe I should just say, type in smuggling bodies. Shit. How well do you know Bryce? I feel like I've known him my whole life.
I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, Doctor. I saw Claire Castleford's husband in the coffin myself before carrying him to the grave.
Okay, so this was his retort.
He is in the ground. I'm sure it wouldn't take much for the police to get an order to have him exhumed. Just make sure it's done on Tuesday morning when I'm off.
So I found that like out of order. I don't know how this is gonna work now. Let me just, keep following up on this. Okay, it keeps going to that, okay.
I'm actually a classically trained pallbearer.
Claire exhumed the body?
Think, Doctor, think.
Can you have the body exhumed?
Try asking me something I might know.
Fuck. It all comes back to that. What else can I ask on David's funeral?
I'm actually a classically trained pallbearer. There are a lot of health and safety considerations. Not everybody can do it. Well, properly at least. Occasionally I step in if the funeral director is short-shouldered. I do remember her face. She wasn't upset in the usual way. She seemed agitated.
Agitated. Didn't we try
Her
that?
husband must have been a giant. The coffin was so heavy. I remember because aft port side sprained his ankle. That and he wasn't lifting correctly. Don't know.
Agitated.
I don't know what you'll get.
Giant.
No.
Correctly.
I've nothing interesting.
I don't know how one I was wondering about that, DeLupo. Like, how does one become a classically trained pallbearer? Armageddon, you're out. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'll see you later, dude. Have a great evening. I'm gonna maybe I'll type hint. Tell you about Dr. Dekker. David.
I don't know what you'll get.
The show. Hey, Werner, about butt sex. Butt sex. So Bryce is basically like, he's sure that he buried David. Saw the body, put in the coffin, carried the coffin out. But it doesn't seem like we can retort Claire anymore.
Smuggling a body out of a funeral can be difficult, unless you pay the right people.
Who did you pay?
That's not relevant here.
Whoa! What do you mean it's not relevant? Fuck. I hate that. Bryce said he did not smuggle the body. Why would Claire be agitated?
Don't know. That means nothing to me. Yes, Vienna.
What could we had? Coffin Wallone? What? What is your superpower? What is yours? We know his superpower. He can stop time. He has an extra hour. Prince of Gore, yeah, she's a sassy pants for sure. How big was David?
Sorry.
Doesn't know. Doesn't know how big her husband was. Ultravox reference? Is the coffin ever alone?
I don't know what you're after.
Doesn't know.
No.
Could someone... Oh.
I'm actually a classically trained...
Classically?
Is that supposed to mean something?
I don't know, you said it.
I'm actually a classically trained pallbearer.
What do you mean
There are a
ultravox
lot
reference?
of health and safety considerations. Not everybody can do it. Well, properly at least. Occasionally I step in if the funeral director is...
Ask with the funeral director, maybe? All right, I'm gonna say that she did it. What weekday was the funeral? Already answered.
He's buried at Henley Church. You can go see for yourself. There's even a headstone. One of your other patients was a pallbearer. I never forget her face. You should ask him. Smuggling a body out of a funeral can be difficult. That's not relevant here. Smuggling a body out of a funeral can be difficult, unless you pay the right people.
Asked Bryce, he said no, he didn't do it. I don't know if I fucked up the order of things here, but I'm gonna answer. I think she killed David. How did they phrase it? Should we? I don't know. I want to draw out her powers, so she admitted it though. We could still draw out her powers though. In fact, even more so if she's convinced that David died, right? I think she's a killer.
At worst, it's manslaughter. I didn't mean to kill him. I just stabbed him a bit. And although he was dead for a week, I brought him back to life. Does this mean you won't help me? Was I temporarily insane?
Was she temporarily insane? Give in to your anger. I think she's permanently insane. But yeah, just, a casual steak knife to the heart. Just a flesh wound. She described the blood pouring out of him, like popping the cork on champagne. She knew what she was doing. How do I answer this?
At worst, it's manslaughter. I didn't mean to kill him. I just stabbed him.
Just stabbed him a bit.
And although he was dead for a week, I brought him back to life. Does this mean you won't help me? Was I temporarily insane?
You were not temporarily insane. You're permanently insane.
I don't know, Doctor.
Fuck, how did she want me to answer this? Oh, well, I know who... Okay.
Bryce was a pallbearer for David. He's also a grave digger, I believe.
Well, that kind of proves that she probably didn't know that much about him. She remembers. I don't know how they want me to phrase this. I don't know how they want me to phrase it. That's the problem. I don't like. I never know.
I didn't mean to kill him. I just stabbed him a bit. And although he was dead for a week, I brought him back to life. Does this mean you won't help me? Was I temporarily insane? At worst, it's manslaughter.
You were still sane?
I'm afraid I don't know the answer to.
Sane.
I'm getting tired of all this.
Fuck! I think, so she thinks, she's basically saying she saw Bryce at David's funeral, her husband. She was implying that she paid off Bryce. Yes, I'll help you.
Try asking me something I might know.
Dr. Dekker was stabbed too, exactly. It's like, that's why I'm so... I'm very, like, I very much suspect her because the killings are so similar.
At worst, it's manslaughter. I didn't mean to kill him. I just stabbed him a bit.
I love that
and
a bit.
Although he
I
was
can't get over
dead
that.
for a week, I brought him back to life. Does this mean you won't help me? Was I temporarily insane?
No, you were not tempo. Didn't I do this though? Insane.
I'm going to pretend that I didn't hear that.
Ah.
Let's have a few more sessions before you seal our fates. Or is it that you want something else? Like Dr. Dekker did? Dr. Dekker teased me mercilessly about my electability. He didn't believe I'd reanimated David. Once, he presented me with a dead mouse and commanded me to give it life again. I didn't, of course. It's not something I'd throw around lightly. He changed his mind about me eventually. And then he mentioned the girl.
So the girl, I'm assuming she brought back to life also. Or she was dead, right? Girl.
Think, Doctor, think. Use your brain. Or your notes if you have to.
Maybe they agreed, in order to prove her abilities, like she said that Dr. Dekker came around. Maybe, he agreed to let her stab him so that she could bring him back. Inquisitive.
Dr. Dekker teased me mercilessly about my electability. He didn't believe I'd reanimated David. Once, he presented me with a dead mouse and commanded me to give it life again. I didn't, of course. It's not something I'd throw around lightly. He changed his mind about me eventually. And then he mentioned the girl.
Okay, did you test your powers on Dekker?
I'm afraid I don't know the answer.
Shit. Teased her.
Dr. Dekker teased me mercilessly about my electability. He didn't believe I'd reanimated David.
Changed his mind. That's what I wanted to
Once,
ask.
he presented me with a dead mouse and commanded me to give it life again. I didn't, of course. It's not something I'd throw around lightly.
Yeah, changed his mind, I
He
think.
changed his mind about... Dr. Dekker asked if I could prove David wasn't dead, so I took him to the lake house. He saw that I was telling the truth. I can take you to see him too, if you like. Would you like to see David, Doctor?
Yes! Yes, I want to see David.
Very well. In our next session.
Wow. Let's do that. Did Dr. Dekker say about the girl?
He told me he'd locked up a girl in the basement of his house. Just for me. And he asked me to reanimate her. It was Iris. I said I couldn't reanimate something that wasn't dead, and he said that wouldn't be a problem. So I agreed. I just played along. I was hoping it wasn't real. I assumed it wasn't real. But he was offering me what I wanted, a temporary insanity diagnosis.
What? It was a steak knife. Whoa.
It didn't happen. Dr. Dekker called me from his house to cancel. He was furious. He said that Iris had escaped and he blamed me for it. He said that I must have set her free after he told me about her. I knew it was all lies anyways. He was obviously titillating himself by reprimanding me. He knew I'd never want to speak to Iris again, so I couldn't prove it either way.
Wow. That's crazy.
Dr. Dekker asked if I could prove David wasn't dead, so I took him to the lake house. He saw that I was telling the truth. I can take you to see him too, if you like. Would you like to see David, Doctor?
Okay, well, I don't... Claire says the girl in Dekker's basement was Iris, yeah. He had a girl locked up in his basement? Jesus. Dr. Dekker's pretty messed up too, apparently. Yeah, sometimes it's like really inane stuff, even though like it's crazy, and then it just like goes off on in this crazy direction. Where do I go next? The resurrection.
I think his brain was already decaying during the week that he was dead. Important bits. So when I brought him back to life, I didn't heal him completely. Just gave him life in the state he was in. I mean, he's hunting and killing things and trying to roast them on fires he can only light with matches, but that's about it. He's your basic Neanderthal. So I have a problem.
Wow. He was mad but not insane. Maybe both? We're done with Claire. I'm going to take a bit of a break, so I have to run to the washroom, but I'll be back in a few minutes, guys. That was nuts. I'm going to have to digest that. Is right, because he's not dead. Thank you guys so much for chilling with me. I'll be back in a couple minutes.